So, not so long ago, I was approached by Dehancer to review their product, and I was shocked. I've seen multiple reviews on Dehancer and videos edited all over YouTube using this plugin, and I always wanted to try it out as well. So, when I was approached with only 27 subscribers, I said yes, of course. After installing, I went straight into the software and tried some different settings in my first couple hours with it. For someone who just got into color grading in DaVinci, this plugin is a gift from God. With Dehancer, you can easily create these cinematic-like videos without the burden of spending many hours perfecting your colors. For someone like me, that's perfect, because I want my videos to look nice, but don't want to spend too much time on coloring. Alright, so here we are in DaVinci Resolve, and to apply Dehancer we have to go all the way down in this settings menu to see Dehancer Pro 7.3.1. That's the latest version I got. So we apply this and then directly you can see the whole screen changes. So we have all these settings over here, and what we have to do first is to select our camera. So we choose camera, and I have a Sony Mark III. So I choose for the Alpha 7 III. As you can see, I don't have a menu over here, but you can see which settings I eventually set. So I have the S-Log 2, I filmed it in S-Log 2, and then we can start actually creating our film. So first you have all these film profiles. You have a lot. Unfortunately, you can't see my menu. So I have to choose the codec plus 200. And we're going to tweak this until we have a very nice film. So we first start with the film developer, and what the film developer actually does, it's the first step of processing your film. It allows you to make your own development recipe. So you have all these different options. You have contrast boost, which of course boosts the contrast. So we also have the gamma correction. This parameter determines how much the midtones are shifted towards shadows or highlights. We also have color separation, which of course decides if colors come closer to each other or are more separated, as the title also says. And when color separation value is reduced, the saturation of the most intense colors is reduced first, while the medium and low saturation colors remain almost unaffected. So when we play the clip, when we enable like the film developer, you can see that already there is a lot of color added to our film. So then we continue to the film compression tool. For me, it was not sure what this was about, but it is actually to emulate the film-like compressed tonal range. As Dehancer says, this is a feature that allows for fine-tuning the redistribution of highlights, resulting in an image that looks more analog and becomes more flexible for further adjustments in exposure, contrast, and film or print profiles. So I didn't know really how to use this tool to the full potential, but I eventually tweaked a little bit with the tonal range and the color density, and I think I got a much better picture in the end. So we used it. I think it's great. It sort of changes the contrast also with the sky in the background. It does make it a lot less white, and it gives a bit more blue to it. So I was really happy with this tool as well. So then we get to the expand tool, which is a pretty straightforward tool. It provides a separate manual control for black points as well as white points. And with this, you can add a little bit more contrast the way you like to your film. And then we get to the last option for like emulating your film, which is the printing option. And in traditional film workflows, after shooting and developing the negative, filmmakers would eventually print it into a specific type of print film, like Kodak or Fujifilm. This was either meant for projection or for distribution. And each print stock had a distinct look. And with this like print emulation, you can simulate this process digitally by letting you choose from different print film profiles. But I didn't really use this option. I think it's nice, but we already emulated our film a lot with the other options. So then we get to the color head, and as you can see, you have these different sliders with yellow and blue, magenta and green, and cyan and red. And you can slide these around to get more of a certain color into your film, and eventually you can increase or decrease these tones at the lower bottom, like with the shadows, the midtones, and the highlights. And then you can create this specific color you want. So you can create a more icy look or a more warm look. It's up to you. So now we finalized our colors of our film, and now we get to the fancy stuff. We have the film grain. This option is, I think, also pretty straightforward. You have all these different kind of profiles you can choose from, and you can apply a certain film grain to your film and also adjust the amount of film grain you want to your film. So then we get to halation, and what halation does actually is add this warm glowing edge to highlights that gives footage like a more organic and cinematic feel. I think this is a very cool tool as well. It really makes it more cinematic and more like you're in this film. You also have a very handy tool for this, which is the mask mode, and the mask mode enables you to see where on which edges the halation is applied. So next to halation we have the bloom effect, and the bloom effect is a little bit the same as halation. It's not like the same, but it really creates also a very, maybe a little bit of a dreamy look to your footage. It also has a mask mode, so you can see where the bloom is affected. It creates this really dreamy look. I really like this as well, but I don't think I'm going to apply it like every time, just to create a certain feeling maybe in certain footage. But yeah, I really like this option as well. I think it's nice they included it. So then we have film damage. I think this is also a very straightforward tool. It creates these like damaged scratch or dots on the film, and with this you can create like a more old looking movie or old looking clip footage, whatever you want to call it. But I think that's also a very nice option if you want to give it a more older look. So then we have film breath, and film breath is a little bit the same as film damage. It tries to emulate like the old looking vibe of movies. You had these like fluctuations in exposure and color, so it was sort of flickering, and that is what you call film breath. And this tool tries to emulate that feeling, so it really like gives randomized variations in exposure, color temperature, and tint. I think it's cool. It gives like a beautiful sort of imperfection to the footage, but I don't think I'm going to use it quite often. But I think it's a very nice addition to this plugin as well. Gate weave I didn't really use, but the vignette tool I used, and I think everybody knows what the vignette tool does. You can create these darker, like more shadowy edges to your movie to give it a more, I don't know, thrilling vibe. And it's really easy. You can just, change it in the way however you want it. And I think it's a cool addition as well. Eventually, you also have the LUT generator, so you can generate eventually your own LUT, like all the options that you changed and all the settings, the sliders that you changed, you can make it into a LUT, which is also very nice if you want to recreate this certain feeling to other footage you have, or if you want to sell your LUTs, I don't know. But yeah, that's actually pretty handy as well. So I think overall, this tool gives a lot of options to emulate your own film, and in that way also enables you to create more cinematic looks to your footage that you have, and it makes everything a lot easier. It gives you a shortcut to eventually create like this cinematic vibe. I really enjoyed using Dehancer. I also want to thank them for using their tool and trying it out, and to give this little review to it. And I would really recommend it to everyone who has, the option to buy this plugin and to use it, because it's outstanding.